He bailed
You
on
know,
him. Cormani
yeah.
never
Hey,
played for him.
he didn't play for you. Raw, what's up, baby? But here's what I'll just say at the end of the day. Uh let's go to Colorado. Colorado, a little bit as we go on, he comes in late, but he does get number one. And I remember Coach Prime saying everybody has to earn their number. He gets
Mm-hmm.
number one, right? Okay, fine. Goes in, doesn't play right away, which was expected. We had some people, shout out to my man Carpet Tech, who said that Kamani would start right away. And a lot of people, shout out to Rob the Man Media, that didn't. I know I'm name calling a little bit, but I got receipts. And I keep them on a real long scroll. But anyhow, uh, that's part of that freshman deal. So he comes in, and I was actually at that USC Colorado game when he comes in and he plays. And so comes in, made some freshman mistake, made a great play, I believe, on Brendan Rice, that's Jerry Rice's son, in the end zone, so forth and so on. But then there was a part where the reporters kept asking about him, and then we all know Coach Prime comes out and says he's got to start doing the right things, got to start studying, watching film on the iPad, all these different things, yada yada yada. What's your take on that situation before we jump into Florida?
At Colorado?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the worst thing that could have happened, right? He gets there. What's the worst thing that could have happened? He gets there, and let's say the worst thing could happen. He got promised $150,000. He gets there, and he got $50,000 for him. He gets there, and Shedeur is a diva. He has his own side of the locker room, and nobody else can come that side of the locker room. He gets there, and Deion Sanders is actually not a church guy. He's cussing everybody out like a sailor behind when the cameras ain't there, right?
Okay. All right. I'm following you.
The worst scenario I can create, right?
All right.
Now you pissed off. You like, oh man, this ain't what I thought it was, and it's snowing everywhere. But you're Cormani McClain, the number one cornerback in the nation. Deion Sanders has the other number one cornerback in the nation on the other side. Deion Sanders was the greatest cornerback to ever play in the league. And you can possibly just be the other cornerback on the other side against Travis Hunter, where they have to throw the ball at you, or they're going to have to pick one. Mature Streeter, right? Mature Streeter would have said, okay, listen, this is bad. But with all these cameras here, we could make this look like, we can make it look like everything's okay. I may take an L on the front end, but I'm finna leave out of here with people saying he was trained by Deion Sanders.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Like, the worst situation, what you still have is a lot of things going in your favor because people, these scouts, they all assume a lot of stuff, bro. They get tricked all the time.
Okay.
It still was a situation to where it's almost like going to Bama in its heyday. Pat Surtain goes to Bama, number one cornerback in the nation. If you don't get hurt, you walk out of there a first rounder. Just cause. Just because. Just because.
You got the Nick Saban stamp. Yeah, okay.
Right. Just because. Travis Hunter gonna play for a Heisman this year. You're the other number one cornerback in the nation on the other side. Guess what probably happens to you the next year? And that's how I kind of look at it, because a lot of things are media and what people are saying.
This from the mature streeter.
From a mature streeter. From a mature streeter, because you have to kind of think outside the box, but you have to go through things in life to realize that, oh man, ain't nothing what it seems. If there's nothing what it seems, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. You go meet that guy and he's an alcoholic. He's fussing at the people in the back. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is what it seems. But you have to be, you have to have went through things to understand that. But what I'm saying is, at Colorado, I think he could have masked a lot of things and just went with the narrative. And like most college kids, walk out of there and never really tell you what Chip Kelly did to him when they were at Oregon. You know what I'm saying? They just go in the narrative, get up out of there. And I think that could have happened at Colorado.
Okay. So I follow where you're going. Here's what I'll say. And I was listening to a podcast on the way. Shout out to Rawhide and them. Really flawed. She has a channel too, and she said something that was big. I never heard this saying before. God doggone, I can't remember it enough to state it, but I remember what it was. Basically, she was saying that, oh my God. Anyway, a lot of people compared him to Travis, right? Mm-hmm. And they thought they were going to get the Travis kind of 2.0 out of this guy, meaning he's on one side, they on one side, because we all heard that. Oh my God, Travis gonna be on one side, Cormani McClain gonna be on the other side, 2 lockdown corners, where they gonna throw the ball at? You got Shiloh back there, safety, blah, blah, blah. And apparently it just didn't turn out to be that.
Right.
The question is, whose fault is that? And I think that's what they were bringing up. Huh?
Well, Hayes, Deion Roster was really light last year.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just think about it. Deion Roster was really light last year. He was suffering bodies everywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
If he could have put Cormani McClain on that field day one, you think he would have?
I believe so.
Yeah.
But here's what I tell people, and this is why I tell people about freshmen. I don't know why people do not understand this. At those type of positions, it is very hard to start as a freshman. I brought this example up.
Yeah.
Cormani McClain, 5-star, top corner. Xavier Weaver, there was the basically the top receiver they had. From right here in Orlando, where I live, I had never heard of him coming out of high school. Went to a small school, OCP, I think Orlando Christian Prep, something like that. Never heard of the guy. I had never heard of him until he got to Colorado. But when you watch the practice tapes, he was doing Cormani in. That's not a bad thing. That goes to show you that he's 5 years older than Cormani. He's bigger, faster, stronger, more tools in his tool belt, more experience, route running, all of those different type of things. So yes, will Cormani grow to be that guy? Sure. But at that time, you understand what I'm saying? I got I got a puppy pit bull, right? And I got a full-grown, I don't know, Chihuahua, little Taco Bell dog. Taco Bell dog will probably win because he's older, he's bigger. But we know as that thing grows, the tide will turn. And he probably couldn't put him because at that position is very few. And because Cormani's not a big guy, like a Tony Grimes, who was at North Carolina, who started as a freshman. Tony Grimes came in like 190, something like that at corner. Cormani, we just saw right now, 159. That's pop on the weight, dog. Like, not being funny, but that's just the frame.
No, bro. I'm sure Deion would have thrown him out there if he could have, because it would have went with the narrative. It would have looked like, oh, he would have got a number 1 DB. Deion coached him up. Deion on the field. But you're right. I've seen first rounders, Artie Burns, struggle as freshmen, dog. I've seen at cornerback, boy. I've seen first rounders, bro. I've seen first rounders struggle as freshmen. What was the other kid name? Came from Booker T for the University of Miami. Who dad coaches UCF offensive coordinator. I mean, brothers, UCF offensive coordinator. Ice Harris. Ice Harris' son. Well, Ice Harris' son. Brandon Harris. Brandon Harris struggled as a freshman. Freshman Artie Burns went first round. Freshman cornerbacks do struggle. But this year you see Brown gets put out there for University of Miami versus Keon Coleman. As a freshman, throw it in the sauce, and he held his own. So I'm saying that to say that freshman guys that even look ready at cornerback sometimes go out there and get ate up.
Because it's technique, it's fundamental, experience. But it ain't the same.
But we know who Deion just played Travis Hunter both ways. If he could have put him on that field at any point in time, he would have. So it had to be something he saw where it was like, no, this is too big of a liability. Had to be.
It may have been, like I said, it was an athletic thing. I just think, like I said, when you're playing at that level, you're in the Pac-12, they're throwing it around the yard. You know, I thought he did a good job at USC. I watched him. I'm in the stand. I'm looking at the game. Again, some leverage things. You actually heard Prime talk about that. But again, that's experience, because when you're in high school, you're not facing those caliber of receivers week in and week out. You understand what I'm saying? And so you're growing to it. We watched our own Francis Mauigoa, the #1 offensive tackle in the country. He was probably the weakest link on our offensive line just due to inexperience.
Yeah.
And y'all don't believe this. Jordan Seaton gonna go through the same thing. I don't wish it that. I just know that. That's part of the freshman blues. That's part of the process. But I'm going on to say that. What do you think? Just speculating here. What do you think the ultimate breakdown was?
If I had to take a guess, like I said, I think Deion would have put him out there day one if there was any glimpse of. If I had to take a guess, I would guess that Cormani, being the #1 cornerback in the nation, being a star coming out of Lakeland, probably took some time to mature when it comes to everything that's asked of you as a college football player.
That's fair.
And I've seen college football players. I've sat down with Jalen Falk. We went through his whole day when he was in college. I've seen their schedules. Listen, I just sat down with Ruben Bain from 6 in the morning to 7 at night. That's asking a lot. And if you're not mature enough to deal with that, you can get derailed. And I think the breakdown was somewhere right. I think the breakdown was somewhere in there, being more mature. Hey, you're not just Cormani McClain here that we have to play. Just having to realize that and go through that. And Deion probably looked at him at some point in time, was like, man, you know who I am? Got me effed up. like, you know what I'm saying? And at some point in time.
Yeah, shout out. I want to address this young man right here. Maye. Well, I miss you, dog. Maye played for Miami Norland, your alma mater. Maye ended up playing at FIU, played DB. And he says it depends on the system and the scheme. I don't know what that emoji is. The defensive coordinator have to learn. It's not easy to learn the playbook. Agreed. Here's what I'll say. Shout out to Maye. Maye scored every way you could at Norland. He threw a touchdown, caught one, interception for a touchdown, kick return for a touchdown, punt return for a touchdown. Shout out to Maye, man. Love you, bro. Golly, I ain't seen him in a long time. But here's what I'll say. Yes, 100%. 100%. And maturity has to come in. Remember, when you're in high school, you got to get up and go to class. Most people you have to eat breakfast. They check you in for breakfast. You got to go to the trainer if you're hurt or injured. You got to get dressed. And now a lot of these guys are practicing in the morning. Now, they kind of switched the schedule. Old school college football was just in the afternoon. We got up and went to class, blah, blah, blah. And maybe some of the things he got away with, he couldn't get away with there. And Coach Prime held him accountable, which I applaud Coach Prime if that's the case. I do. I applaud him because your job is to teach. Coach is nothing but sports teacher. That's all it is. You're a sports teacher. You are a teacher. And so if that's the case, I applaud Coach Prime 1,000%. Now, let's flip it. What was the corrective actions? That's where part of teaching comes in too. And that I don't know. What were the corrective actions? Yeah, we know what was said. We saw Uncle Neely come out and say, I was sat in the meeting. I watched 3 things he had to do, and he didn't do any of those things. Now, again, I will have to take Uncle Neely at his word because I wasn't there. But what, in turn, is the corrective action?
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of when a coach comes and talks to your parents and says, I'm going to turn this young man this young guy into a young man.
Right.
See, that's part of that process too. I'm not saying that you don't have to cut kids off a team, because you do at some point. We're talking in general here. But there's also some point where you have to be that guy who's teaching and doing that. And what are the corrective actions? That I don't know.
Right.
And that's how I look at it.
It seems as if they're doing less and less of that in college football now.
Mm-hmm.
Now that they can sit a kid down and say, "Hey, listen, it's gonna be hard for you to move up here." We should, now that they can sit down, it seems like less and less they're putting up with less and less BS in their locker room.
Yeah. Jack Jackson says something great. If I put a guess on, I think Cormani's introvertedness didn't like the spotlight just yet. In due time, though. And I wanted to bring that up. Great way to segue into this. He seems to be a very reserved guy. I've never spoken to him. But even in that interview, it's kind of like he was loose, but he's not jovial. He's not out there. Mm-hmm. Even when he was on the Wallow and Gilly, he was very reserved and sitting back.
Right.
And I've heard that about him. Right? These are things I've heard about him.
Mm-hmm.
Or do you think, and I think you brought it up earlier, him walking into Colorado, do you think that was bigger than what he kind of expected? Because most guys who are introverts, they don't really want all that. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's the case. I'm asking because I do think he has that kind of personality where he's like nonchalant, like, look, bro, I'm here to ball or whatever I do, what I'm going to do. But I don't have to be all out like that. Now, when he gets on the field, I think he's a little different. But off the field, I'm saying.
Well, I think we take it's interesting how media affects people, right? What do we really see at Colorado? Like, what do we really see at Colorado? We see a lot of Shador. We see a lot of Shiloh because their brothers holding the camera. We see a lot of Dion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And whatever they shoot on the Amazon Prime stuff, but you got to log in to go watch that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we don't see all the guys. You see Travis Hunter, he's in his own cocoon over there and does his own thing, got his own production team, got his own thing. But you don't see everybody. Everybody isn't in the spotlight unless they try.
Okay.
So I think it's no different than any other program. You got recruited here to play football, Hayes, and you coached at college.
Mm-hmm.
You've heard coaches tell kids, "Hey, man, you came here to downset her." That's what you focus on. What we got going on here, you know what I'm saying? But you came here to downset her. Nobody's forcing the camera in your face at Colorado. You know what I'm saying? Like it's we see so much of them because of well-off media.
Mm-hmm.
But we see a lot of the brothers because of well-off media.
Mm-hmm.
The Amazon Prime stuff, I don't know when they shoot that or how they shoot it. It seems like they shoot it throughout the season. I haven't watched the one since Jackson State. So I'm not sure if he's on there or not. If he popped up, the issues popped up, I'm not sure. But yeah, I don't think that would have deterred him per se. I just think it was something to say on the way out. Like when your ex leaves you, Hayes, and she'd be like, "That's why you got to look." It's just something to say on the way out, dog. It's just something to say on the way out. That's it, dog. Just something to say on the way out, dog.
Okay. No, and I get out. I would just, like I said, I just wanted to ask because it's interesting to hear people's perspective. Here's something else I like to say. Now, here's what the cameras do expose. It exposes this situation, and a lot of people like to say, "Oh, it's happening everywhere," and it is. This same situation is happening. Prime example, he brought up a young man named Sam McCall. I remember Sam McCall. Mm-hmm. Sam McCall was committed to Florida State, flips and goes to Florida. I don't know. Can you tell me, anybody know where Sam McCall is playing at right now?
He just got in the transfer portal, right?
And he's now at Texas A&M. Well, he might be back in the I don't know. I think he's at Texas A&M right now.
I think he's in the transfer portal.
He might be. I don't know. So yeah, he was at Florida State. No, I'm sorry. He was a Florida Gator, transferred to Florida State, Texas A&M, and as a prospect, he was the number 4 safety in the country, 6th player in the state of Florida. So I say all that to say, a lot of people who go through this transition don't have that same spotlight because they're not in that environment. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just saying what comes along with that. The same thing would happen as if this was to happen to Jordan Seaton. Hell, this is happening to kids that most people never even heard of until they got to Colorado, right?
Right.
Like, this is happening to kids because they're under that magnifying glass. And so these kind of things are happening year in and year out, team by team by team, from the Ohio States to the doggone Villanovas. All right. And nobody knows who on the Villanova team. No disrespect, but I'm just saying,
Sam
McCall
jumped in the transfer portal April the 16th.
So he went from Florida State, Texas A&M, and now he's in the transfer portal. It hasn't been picked up yet. And one of the top guys, you heard what Cormani said, they weren't going to throw at him. They had to throw at me. That's why I got them 9 interceptions. So that goes to tell you what kind of player he was. But again, he doesn't get the same scrutiny because he's not under that microscope. Let's jump into Florida a little bit in this recruiting process. There was a lot of talk about, he needs to go down a level. There were talks about maybe going to the G5 and this, that, and the other. What's your thoughts about that? Do you think he should have gone down or should go down to the G5 and this, that, and the other? I don't believe so, but go ahead.
You don't think he should go down to G5?
No, I think he's a Division I player. I'm sorry, that's still Division I. I think he's a Power 4 player now.
Well, Florida has what? Jason Allen and Devin Moore. We know for a fact Florida has that cornerback, right? Jason Marshall, kid out of 5-star out of down here in Miami.
Palmetto.
I'll say this. He's a D1 talent. We know he's a D1 talent. When you go down, see, I learned this in the transfer portal dealing with a few dudes. When you go down, it's not necessary to say, hey, I can't play at the top. But I think when you go down, it allows you a little more leeway. They might need you on the field. They might need you on the field when you start going down, right? They may need you on the field. It's kind of like how Marshall takes a lot of guys that a lot of people can't take. So if you're not mature enough, right? If you're not mature enough, when you go down, I call it big fish in a little pond. You have a little more leverage.
Okay.
Right. You have a little more leverage. I'm sure Florida's going to hold him to the same standard that Colorado did, or maybe less, or maybe worse. And at some point in time, he's just going to have to step up and get it done. Right. So when somebody talk about going down, it's not necessarily like, Cormani can't play at this level. No, that's not it. Sometimes when you're big fish in a little pond, you open up your opportunity. You widen the lanes a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You got more. Yeah, you got more. You know what I'm saying? You got more. You big fish, little pond. Hey, you miss practice. Hey, you miss study hall. They may throw it under them. They need you at wide receiver and cornerback this weekend at wherever. It's SMU, Georgia State, wherever. You know what I'm saying? And that's why. Going to Florida, it's gonna be the same. Getting up at 6, going to sleep at 7, the same rigmarole. And you know what I'm saying? Just got to get on board and bite your teeth for what? We got 2 more years. And yeah, just turn out to be the player that we know you could be. But hey, we've seen it. Yeah, we've seen these guys plenty of times. We've seen guys with all the talent in the world. You know what I'm saying? Somehow can't. You got Sam McCall, whatever Sam McCall problem is.
Denver Harris, right? We see Denver Harris, and we see. There's so many examples of this. Like I said, the only difference is those other players are easily forgotten because they are no longer the household name, right? When they were coming out of high school, people who follow recruiting. Oh my God, they got Denver Harris. They got it every year. And as soon as they go to a team, let me ask you this. When the last time you heard this name? Brandon Enos.
Well,
no, I'm
I hear it a lot, but you don't hear it a lot. You're right.
And I'm not saying that as a knock. What I'm saying is he's not today's news right now because he is sitting at Ohio State waiting his turn. But when he was coming out of high school, he was the big deal. The difference is now that he went to Ohio State, he's out of the magnifying glass and a new person is stepping in. But when you go to Colorado, you remain under that microscope. That's what I was trying to show, that Brandon Enos, when he was coming out of high school, oh my God, Miami, Ohio State, where's he going to go?
Right. No, all of them. Cornell Tate. A lot of them, they get buried, and you got to rise to the top.
Ja'Cory Brooks, all these kind of cats, right? But again, they don't have the same microscope that has been created there at Colorado. Not a bad thing. I'm just saying that why people come and go. And then Marvin Harrison Jr., remember his freshman year? Ain't nobody said nothing because he wasn't playing.
No, he said.
Coming out of high school, oh my God, Marvin Harrison Jr., Marvin Harrison's son, go be our kid. And then for a year, hey, ain't that Marvin Harrison? That's him. And then he pop on the scene. Boom, he back in the wave. But anyway, let's talk Florida. Let's talk fit. UCF, I know I said Florida, I'm going to UCF. UCF, I hear, is in the runnings. USF, we know he has a connection with DeMarcus Van Dyke, a.k.a. DVD, who is currently the defensive back at USF in Tampa. And he was one of the mainstays for him trying to come to Miami. And let's say Florida. Right now, he's currently on a visit to Florida. We heard the article the news clipping at the beginning. Shout out to On 3. Hopefully, y'all don't copyright us on that one. Thanks for the info. Appreciate it. But anyway, he's at Florida right now. They kind of saying it sounds like it's going to be a done deal. How do you think he fits in with Florida? Knowing that we kind of hear what's going on at Florida, maybe under the coaching staff. Will it be a change? Will Billy Napier make it through the season? They got the toughest season. I mean, the toughest schedule of all time, all that stuff that goes along with it.
Yeah, I saw that. They got the toughest schedule. You saw UCF picked up a Jai Hall?
UCF did?
Yes.
Here's a perfect example of a Jai Hall. Bro, a Jai Hall coming out of high school out of Tampa was, whoa. And guess what?
Yeah. People
made some noise, but not like it would be here. And think about this. Cormani ain't did nothing that a Jai Hall has done.
Nah. UCF
not even close.
I think it'll be like a walk-on. I saw that last night, and I thought about you. I was going to send it to you because I know you keep talking about UCF loading up over there.
Well, I'm telling you, boy, them boys are that.
Them boys loading clip.
Like they're presidents.
They is, dog. They loading the clip, bro. Yeah. I saw them on the list the other day, top 5 best running back rooms. I was like, damn, they top 5 best running back rooms?
Bro.
Nah, they loading the clip.
Yeah.
No, I think so. Billy Napier seat is getting kind of hot in Florida, right?
But okay.
The seat getting kind of hot in Florida, right? I think out of the three teams in Florida, Florida State, Miami, Florida may be the one that's down. You know what I'm saying? Down the worst. I think Florida's a good spot for him to land.
Why is that?
I just think I think, like I said, I think Billy Napier is on the hot seat. A lot of times when coaches are on the hot seat, recruiting goes down. And I think that's a place where it's not big fish, little pond. No, you know what I'm saying? Power 5, big time school. But I think a place like that, he can get a shot. That's what I believe. I believe he can get a shot there.
Yeah. Now we all know Corey Raymond, good friend of mine. Was the defensive back coach, considered a DB guru, came from LSU, went there, and was ultimately fired and went back to LSU. We know they have a very young defensive coordinator. I want to say Austin Armstrong. A lot of people made fun of his age. I think he's like 29, he might be about 30, 31 at this point, but still relatively young to be a Power 5 DC there. And they made some changes. And again, Corey Raymond is known as the guru of DB coach, one of the top DB coaches, and he ended up ultimately being let go. They bring in now a gentleman named, I just had his name up here. Here we go. Will Harris, who has some experience. He started coaching in 2013 at Northwestern Oklahoma State, Humboldt State, Dixie College, San Jose State. Then he got his Power 5 at Washington as a DB coach from 18 to 21, Georgia Southern. Then he went for the Los Angeles Rams for a year and now currently at Florida. So he's been coaching a while, relatively on the lower levels. That's not an issue. I just wanted to make sure I said that. But I will say this. He's the DB coach. But from 2018 to 2022, he has put in 8 defensive backs in the NFL. And they're all Washington players. First rounder, 3 second rounders, a third rounder, fifth rounder, seventh rounder, and an undrafted free agent. So, he it seems like he can develop, right?
Right.
Seems like he can develop.
We get lucky one.
Or do a hell of a job recruiting some guys that's developed.
One of them. You get lucky.
Shout out to LV. Shout out to LV. He's solid. He's solid. 5 minutes. LV. That corner right there. You got 5 minutes. Get on in there.
Remember you taught me about the fast track, how some coaches be on the fast track?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this old Florida DC was on the fast track.
Man, he was on the what do they call the thing over there in Germany? The speedway, man. What's the thing they call over there?
Whoa, this man was quality control in 2019. That boy went from quality control linebackers in 2020 to DC in 2021. Put me in, coach.
What they call the thing over there in Germany where you can speed? What's the thing you can
Autobahn.
The Autobahn. Thank you, Daryl. The Autobahn. That boy ain't fast track. That boy.
Put me in, coach.
Listen. And he young. This dude, like you say, was GAN and stuff, became the DC at Southern Miss. Right before he got to Florida, he was about to be a DB coach or whatever it is at Alabama. Billy Napier gets him to be his DC. Yowzers.
That boy coaching career, that boy Wikipedia coaching career about a paragraph.
Hey, Streeter, hold your chin out.
Hey, man, that thing about a paragraph. Boy, he graduated high school. He went to college. DC.
And they fired Corey Raymond. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna leave it at that.
This coaching game, boy, I don't know what's worse, fraternity or coaching game. The coaching game, crazy.
That thing nasty. But anyway, yeah. But here's what I'll say: him going to college, to Florida, if he goes there, again, the same requirements are going to put on him. It's college football, right? So if what they say is true, but can I say this? Even if he went G5, those same requirements are put on you.
Those same requirements. Yeah, you're right.
That is why as a dog and not a DC. Chad, this corner right here. 5 minutes. You got 5 minutes. This corner right here.
Some guys have got all the luck, huh, Chad?
5 minutes.
Boy, that thing with the Wikipedia like this, boy. But you're right. It's the same requirements, hey? Same requirements.
Same requirements, dog. It's just done at a bigger level, right? It's SEC football. Here's what I'll say. Those guys brought up a point in there about him potentially walking on due to scholarship restrictions. What's your thoughts about that part? The walking.
Say it again.
Yeah. Okay, so in the on three piece that we played at the beginning, the gentleman brought up, I forget their names, but they brought up a portion where they said Cormani McClain may have to walk on because of scholarship restrictions.
I think that's old school thinking, right? Because of how fast these kids are moving. So I think they're looking at the roster, looking at the numbers, and they're like, oh, they always did. Oh, they full. I don't think anybody's full anymore.
Because they'll move somebody.
I think when that portal open, it be dudes at the door going open, open, open. Remember that commercial? Yeah, I think that's an old way of thinking. I don't think anybody's ever full. I know for a fact nobody's ever full. I know for a fact, like we said, the college was full, and they called us and was like, "Hey, this is not 1995. Take that down. We're never full. We're always looking. They're looking." Straight up. Hey, listen, I got something to say. Listen, if you take your girl to eat down here, look at this place down here. Wherever this is, where we at? Where we at, Hayes?
We in the Virgin Islands right now, man.
I'm in the Virgin Islands. If you take your girl, you take the girl down here to eat on the first date, and you can't get no nookie with that backdrop, then you just ain't fine. But that is.
You like what we
down in
did?
The car. That is nice.
I think, hey, see, Cole, we got this. I'm telling you. Hey, we taking sponsorships right now. If you want to have your restaurant on Hayes Street, or you want Hayes Street to come to your restaurant, holla at your boys.
Anything. But you got the money, your ice cream truck, anything. Food truck. Anything.
Ellen, you know what, Ellen? You didn't make 5 minutes. You didn't make 5 minutes, Ellen. Add 5 minutes to the
down there.
Look what she says, though.
Down there, Ellen. I'm up here on the screen, Ellen, and down there is the scenery. You the only one to think about Cebollas.
Hold up. I'm gonna just give her 3 minutes because I ain't gonna lie. When you said it, I was thinking that too. Because you were like, if you can eat right here,
no Diddy.
No doubt. Anyway,
what's going on?
What is happening? Anyway, so no, it's beautiful, man. We saw the sun go down. We got all this. We might be here more often. Over 1,000 people on here. We are doing streaming this Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter on both sides of the street here, man. So we appreciate it. Over 1,000 people in the building that want to watch this. But anyhow, real quick, as we get ready to wrap this up, I get where you're going. And then they did say you will have some summer shift. Well, I do believe a scholarship will be available, right? I mean, people, I heard some things where people talking about, he downplayed because he a walk on now. Like
what?
I don't know. I don't know, Street. Like, that's the kind of stuff we're talking about where he's a walk.
Florida defense. I just wanted to see Florida defense coordinator. They're like a young Chris Farley, like a real young Chris Farley.
That boy be in the house gaming.
That boy young. That boy young, boy.
He only like 29, 30. He can't be no more than 31 at this point.
He's born in 1993. He's 30.
30, I told you. I ain't mad at him, dog. Hombre Negro said he knows something, but you forgot to type or somebody. But anyway, I ain't mad at him. I'm not mad at him, dog.
We'll tell him Cam Ward coming to town, 3:30.
Listen, boy, we finna, maybe you see tomorrow Kane's talk show, but we finna get busy.
Cam Ward coming to Florida, to Gainesville, 3:30.
He coming to Florida, dog? Man, we finna put that hammer on these cats, man. But seriously, man, in regards to Cormani, I think it'll be a good fit. I think any school, I had to be honest, I would love to see him at doggone UCF, though. I really would.
Yeah.
I would love to see him there just because I think UCF is building something. He has 4 years left of eligibility. So he's building something. So I would really love to see that right there.
I don't think USF recruited him. I don't think USF went after him.
Really?
UCF, I'm not. Yeah, I don't think so. That's what I heard. UCF, I'm not sure. UCF would have been a good fit for him, but I couldn't see that happening.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't see that happening. It looked like it may be Florida, unless something fall through. I just want to see the young man play to his potential, get out there and do his thing, bro. At the end of the day.
Yeah. And again, like you said, we've seen many of these stories. This young man stays in the limelight. And here's something what a lot of people have to understand. It's easy for all of us to say, well, like I saw somebody, well, he knew the cameras were there. Bro, this is instant stardom. Instant stardom.
Right.
You are not just being talked about in the mainstream media. There are people like ourselves who now have a voice on these platforms that are constantly talking about you. You have other content creators calling this young man Cormani McClain. Like, come on, dog. Like, how many of y'all, let's be honest. Come on. And let's call it what it is. The young man is not going to jail. He ain't out here beating up girls. He's not doing. Right. We talking about a game. We talking about a game. And people can hide behind these right here. God dang on it. These keyboards. They can hide behind the keyboards and be keyboard warriors. And guess what?
Right.
And guess what? You can say whatever you want to say. But he got to read it. His family got to read it. The homeboys got to read it. And I'm not making an excuse for him. I'm just simply saying there is a transition in there. A lot of people can't handle that, or it takes time to mature to that level. Real quick, man, let's wrap this up because I got to do a show at 8:30, which I'm probably going to be a little bit late here. But I got my I don't see how's in the back chat. I can set this up for you. But we're going to do primetime talk coming up at 8:35. So if y'all like to come on over there, you're more than welcome. 1,065 people in the building today. Appreciate you, man. We are at the U.S. Virgin Island. I want to be like that man right there underneath me. I want to be out there one day where I can wear my sunglasses around my neck and have my shirt wide open. You know what I'm saying? Hey, and rub my hands. Hey, and rub my fingers through my taco meat. You know what I'm saying? All right, real quick. I'm going to just say this before you play it. Some people just don't learn their lesson. Some people, there's two stories here. Some people don't learn their lesson, and guess what? Some people still down for the foolery. Go ahead, my brother, whenever you're ready. Shout out to Madman Media. Please don't copyright us, dog. We give you much love. Watch this street.
What's going on?
Just watch it. Pay attention to the guy in the white t-shirt collecting all the phones.
Got everybody's phone now? Got everybody's phone.
Got the boy's phone?
Huh? Yeah. Where the boys at?
Hi.
Hello. Merry Christmas.
Who is that street?
Huh?
Who is that?
I need the phones, guys. Need the phones.
He did it.
I need your phone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And Quincy, I know you have two phones, Quincy. Oh, there you go. That's what I love. Yeah. Just Flow. So proud of you, Just Flow. Look at that. Got all the phones.
What did he got going on?
All right, pause it right there. Bruh, you going through all this, and you out here you literally collecting phones. But what does that tell you about all these people right here that's giving their phones up? They still down with the bull-ish.
What you mean the bull is? Fill me in. What do you mean?
How is it that everybody comes out? I ain't never been in no Diddy party. Not me. And guess what? He look like he about to have a Diddy party, and everybody doing this right here. Here you go. You can have my phone.
Because it's malarkey. People, man, listen, bro.
I'm just saying.
People just be talking, dog. Giving up their phone. People just be talking, bro. They give up their phone. They want to party with Diddy.
No, but I guess my question is this one of those situations, when people say this is not a good idea, Diddy? Like, let's not party right now. We got a lot going on. No, I'm just saying, hold on. Before you get started,
pressure, dog.
I know, but before you get started, I don't want to say this. You know how they always say, where is his homeboys? Or you got yes men around you. Where are the people that just simply say the optics of this? Why don't we just say, hey, Diddy, let's not have a party today?
I don't think Diddy don't seem to be under pressure. He seemed to be living his life. He seemed to be, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't seem to be under pressure. Whether he is delusional or whether he knows his lawyers don't handle it and he's straight. It's just a bunch of BS going on. But he don't seem to be feeling the pressure that people appear to be talking about. When was that video taken?
I don't know, dog. I don't see how. I'm the National Enquirer right now. That could have been 7 years ago. Just let me live.
Diddy riding down the street on Beach Street? He don't seem to be feeling the pressure that we appear that he's under.
I don't know, dog. I just personally, if that is a current video, I it's kind of like when OJ came out with the book, If I Done It. Like, come on, dog. Like I know you were found not guilty. They can't try you again. But you come out with a book, If I Done It, bruh. Like, some stuff just ain't a good idea. That's all I'm saying.
I don't subscribe to everything people say, you know what I'm saying, on the internet. I'm sure Diddy parties used to be lit, though. Now it done turned into a meme. You know what I'm saying? But I'm sure they used to be lit, and I'm sure everybody was trying to get in. I'm sure there's people out here not telling the story how they couldn't get in Diddy party. Now we've turned it into a meme. You know,
but that's my point. Now, one celebrity. Oh no! I mean, I was at Diddy party, but I always left early. I was. Nobody ever says, "Bro, I was there. Yeah, it was 5." But wait a minute, I looked at this back. Like, everybody, no, I left early. No, like I haven't seen one celebrity of a particular stat. Now I see some of the lower level like rappers say, "Oh, I saw some crazy stuff," but we talking about some high name guys. They always say, "Yeah, because
I think that's another way of saying that. There's another way of saying I ain't seen nothing like that. If it did go on, that's what I think.
No, they don't want to be tied in and be like, "Damn, you sitting there watching." I'm just saying. Only thing I'm just saying to you, Street. I feel you. I just think
I ain't getting in there with you, Hayes. I'm not gonna let them take another black guy down in the media, though.
I'm with you. But why you do this? That's all I'm saying. Why?
But take people's phones?
Okay, I can't. I got 2 hours. I got 2 hours. Listen, I got 2 hours with these Colorado fans. I can't do it, dog. Trust me. My bandwidth is about stretched out.
Shout out to Shad with the 499.
Yes, sir. Shad, appreciate you, man. It's not a real Diddy party unless TD is there. And I'm not talking about Terrell Davis. Who is TD? Who is TD?
TD Jakes.
Oh! Swallow. Anyway, I'm out of here, man. Wrap this thing up. Appreciate y'all. And I'm out of here. Go ahead. Street got it. Oh, Lord. Street. I ain't going nowhere.
His family ain't never been Democrat ever again. He don't care who run, Obama.
I just want to say, I grew up a Democrat, and I've always been a Democrat until I met this man right here. I'll tell you what. He will not have to worry about nobody in my family ever vote for a Democrat again. Okay.
That's the greatest defensive end ever, Lawrence Taylor.
street.
Trump 2024.
Reggie, 5 minutes. For them $5. For them $5, 5 minutes in the corner. This one right here.
Take that.
Now sign this NDA. Now sign this NDA.
Diddy can't stop, won't stop, dog. Y'all ain't listen. Can't stop, won't stop.
I get down, baby.
More money, more problems. Diddy been told y'all that. He built for it.
Gats and shoulders, girl. Hey, Gats and holsters, girls on shoulders, Playboy. I told you.
More money, more problems. Diddy built for it, dog.
Diddy out. I see y'all in a little bit.
Lawrence Taylor just sold the Democrat Party out, though. He ain't. Lawrence Taylor said he ain't never voted Democrat. No, nobody in his family ever voted Democrat again. Lawrence Taylor just went all the way in. Shout out to Lawrence Taylor. Yeah, I know Coach Hayes' mama was a Republican. She voted for Trump the first time, and she said she ain't vote for nobody but Trump. She said Biden be sliding. Coach Hayes' mama got a red hat and all. She got some red shoes to go with it.
She do. She got a red hat.
She got a red hat and all, some red shoes to go with it. Talking about she got her from Kanye. Kanye ain't give you that hat. Miss Hayes, come on now. Come on now. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button and share, man. Subscribe. We out of here.
Streeter 2020.